Cold calling is still very alive today. So is cold emailing. How do we know? Well, there's tons of technologies that exist to help you send those cold emails out and send those cold calls out. And there's so much cool stuff out there that helps you churn out thousands of emails, thousands of cold calls. But here's the thing. If you're doing all those things, but none of them are working, then what do you do? And this is a theme that comes up over and over in this channel if you've been following me for a while. There's a difference between the activities and the strategy. You can go do all of the activities, but if your strategy around your cold outreach is not there, then all of this stuff will not work no matter how hard you're trying. And I'm sure you're trying hard. So in this episode, I'm gonna walk you through the 3 principles you absolutely need to know to actually nail your cold outreach strategy. Intro. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Unstoppable. I'm TK, and on this channel, I help SaaS founders like you grow your SaaS businesses faster with an unstoppable strategy. If you are new to this channel, welcome. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and that bell icon. That way you'll get notified every single time I drop an episode with the TK energy. Also, if you're part of my SaaS go-to-market coaching program, if you're part of this community, welcome back. It's so awesome to see you over here. All right, so here's the thing. You can go send out 1,000 cold emails. You can go do 1,000 dials, and there's software that helps you do that, and still none of it may work. You may be doing cold outbound, but it may not be working. And I know that very well because I started ToutApp. We were one of the OG cold emailing platforms. And even for us, it took some time to really realize that the actions of sending out those emails or making those cold calls weren't the only thing that was needed. You also needed to get the strategy right. So I'm gonna walk you through the 3 principles you absolutely need to know to actually lay down your cold outreach strategy, 3 components you absolutely need to have. So if you're excited to dig in, go ahead and smash that like button and let's dig right into it. And this way, once you follow these principles, then you'll be able to actually execute in a much more efficient way. All right, principle number 1 is the who, the why, and the when are you cold calling. This is one of the things, like, before you even make that cold call or send that cold email, you have to ask yourself, like, why are we calling this person? Right? Why this person? Who are they? What's their title? Why is this relevant? And when are we calling them? Like, are we calling them at 9 a.m. in the morning or 3 p.m. in the afternoon? What do we know about their life in terms of, like, what does a typical VP of sales do at 3 p.m. versus 8 a.m.? Are they a morning person? Are they a late person? These are the questions that you need to actually ask yourself. Now, one way to actually articulate all this is to actually codify all this in your ideal customer profile. But especially when you're doing cold outreach, you have to dig a little bit more deeper into understanding when is the right time to call someone. What is the trigger event? Like, should you call them right after a fundraising announcement? Should you call them right after there was a big, massive event that happened with their company? Should you call them when they had a down quarter? Asking yourself some of these questions on, like, why now? Why are we calling them now? What's going on in their life that we know could be relevant to whatever we're about to pitch them? This is part of strategy. This is not part of just picking up the phone and dialing and following the framework that you need to actually follow to say, hey, like, I'm TK. I work at Unstoppable. We help SaaS founders grow faster. Most SaaS founders actually struggle with growth because they don't have a strategy. Can we talk? Like even knowing to say all those things, before you do that, you need to understand at a deeper level, who are the people that you're targeting and cold calling and cold emailing, and what's going on in their world, and why are you doing it now, and what's the trigger event that's gonna lead into it. This is super, super important. This is a perfect example of why strategy is so important, because you could go send out those 1,000 emails or dial those 1,000 numbers, but if you don't have the answer to this, everything you do from here on out is not gonna be as relevant. You won't know why you're saying what you're saying. That's why it's super, super important. Principle number 1 is the why, who, and when are you cold calling. Really think deeper about that. Build that list of people, understand their triggers, understand what's going on in their world, understand when is the right time to engage and why, and you'll be a lot more effective when you actually get into executing. The second principle that you need to understand, this is also important in any sort of cold outreach you're doing, whether it's cold calling or cold emailing, you're gonna lose me at hello if you don't have a clear way to articulate to me why you're gonna help me. So it's super important. Principle number 2 is to actually have, what is your 1-sentence value proposition? Your 1-sentence value proposition, right? Like, I say my value proposition at the beginning of every episode all the time. We help you grow faster. Most SaaS founders don't graduate from the seed stage to the Series A. We help you grow faster. We help you actually increase your chances. That's our value prop, because I've been there and I know it. That's one of our big value props. That's our one sentence. So if you don't know what your value proposition is, if you haven't articulated it, if you haven't done the work to actually flesh that out, can you imagine why sending those 1,000 emails or making those 1,000 phone calls and you're like fumbling to say like, what do I say now? Like what's going on? You won't know, right? And so this is why it's super important to actually take the time to lay out, well, what is our value proposition? So we can feed that into all the outbound channels that we go into, whether it's cold calling, cold emailing, or I don't know, you're texting them. Some people do that. Whatever it may be, you actually need to think about this piece. What is your one sentence value prop? Let me just pause here for a second. I have the third principle, but before I go into that, are you starting to see the power in this? First of all, are you starting to see the difference between execution and strategy? Can you see if you get the strategy right, these three components that I'm walking you through, I'll go to the third one, your execution is gonna be a lot more likely to succeed. Can you see how maybe your outbound efforts in the past or the ones you're doing now isn't working as well because you don't have the strategy right? If you've seen the power in this, can I just get a yes in the comments below? Also smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. It really likes it when you do that. Also, if you need help figuring all this stuff out and you want a framework to follow to actually grow your SaaS business faster, this is why I created my SaaS go-to-market coaching program. I'll tell you more about it at the end of this video. I'll also link to it below, but let's go to principle number 3. Principle number 3, this is the third important ingredient in every cold call, in every cold email. You know, if you need to actually understand why you're reaching out to them, why now, what's the trigger, and you actually have your one value prop, the third principle that you have to lay down in your strategy and collect enough ammo around is, why should I trust you, right? Where's your social proof? Why should they actually trust you? This is a fundamental question. Like, I'm sure you can relate. When you are getting a cold call, and it's like, hey, it's Mike. It's like, I don't know who Mike is. It's Mike from Microsoft. It's like, okay, I kind of know Mike. Like, what? Why are you calling me? Why should I trust you? How do I know you're really from Microsoft? Trust is the biggest barrier from people actually engaging with your cold calls and your cold emails. They just don't trust you. So you actually have to build that social proof in that moment. In an email, you'll probably want to mention like, by the way, we work with these other companies that you've probably heard of or compete with. Or on a cold call, you may have to name drop, or you may have to say like, look, we also work with companies like yours, including X, Y, and Z. So would you be interested in having a deeper conversation about this? When you can actually say that, you're building trust, you're building social proof. And based on that, they'll trust you more and they'll give you more time. Or they'll respond and say, okay, let's book a meeting. So these are the 3 most critical components to every outbound campaign. And a lot of times people focus on the execution, they don't get the strategy right, and because they don't have the strategy right, the execution doesn't work. Number 1, who are you actually targeting? Why? And when are you actually going to target them? Like, when is the right time? What's the trigger event that's going to be the most effective for them? Number 2, once you do get a hold of them and get their attention, what's your one sentence value prop? If you can't articulate a one sentence value prop, then you're going to lose them. ADD kicks in. And number 3 is, why should they trust you? What is your social proof? Every single outbound touch point has to have these 3 things. Why now? What are you going to do for them? And why should they trust you? If you can incorporate these 3 things in every touch point, almost immediately you'll start to see a difference in how you actually write your cold emails or make your cold calls. And that's the power of this. Now you may be wondering, okay, these are the 3 principles, but how do I actually build out my ICP? There's an enormous world of people that we can target. How do we segment in the right direction? How do we actually cater to them? How do we understand more about them? You may also be wondering, well, how do I craft my value proposition? You may also be wondering, well, how do I go about collecting the testimonials and how do I incorporate that into my go-to-market strategy and my motions? You may be thinking about, like, how do I do each of these key pieces? This is exactly why I created my SaaS go-to-market coaching program. Inside this program, you get a well battle-tested framework that you can follow to actually flesh out your ICP, develop your strategic narrative and messaging and positioning, and actually run your outbound plays among other channels. Also, we also teach you about inbound and ads. So we help you do all 3 of these things step by step along with my coaching. So if you want the fast track to getting results, if you actually want to accelerate the growth of your SaaS business, you want to incorporate these principles and have a framework to follow in the coaching, I invite you to apply to join my coaching program. All you have to do is just book a call with me. You can go to tkcater.com/apply, tkcater.com/apply. On that page, we'll ask you a few questions. We'll kind of qualify and to make sure that we can actually help you. Then we'll hop on a call. We'll talk through where you are in your SaaS business. We'll figure out where you're stuck. And based on that, if I can help you, we'll help you get into the program and start working right away. So it's super simple. Just go to tkcater.com/apply, APPLY. If you got value from this video, if you're already starting to see, like, I can see why some things aren't working, some things are, I can see how we can improve the strategy. If you're starting to see the power in this, go ahead and smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Don't forget to do that. It means a lot to us and the YouTube algorithm. Also, I drop an actionable video like this 2 to 3 times a week. So be sure to the subscribe button and that bell icon. That way you'll get notified every single time I drop an episode. If there's a fellow founder that would get value from this, a fellow team member, please share this episode with them, share this channel with them. It'll mean the world to us. We want to help impact as many SaaS founders as possible to grow as fast as possible. That's why we do this. That's we really care. And lastly, remember, everyone needs a strategy for their life and their business. When you are with us, yours is going to be unstoppable. I'm TK, and I'll see you in the next episode. And I've been there. I started ToutApp, let's redo that part. What was I gonna say?